Good evening, my dear friends. Today we have a monster receiver, Technics SA700, for detailed review. First of all, let's take a look at the exterior features. Look at this receiver. This is a classical piece of end of 70s, beginning of 80s era, with very streamlined design, a lot of metal, wooden veneer. It's not actually wooden, it's just a plastic that looks like wood but still looks cool. And this beast, despite its weight, it is very powerful. 100 watts of pure crisp sound, and besides great sound, this receiver has many nice features. First of all, let's take a closer look at the controls. As you can see, this receiver has many controls. They are logically combined into the groups, and we will start from the most left knob. This is a power knob. This power knob has a traditional design for Technic devices. It's used in many Technic models, especially of the SA line. As you can tell, there are many knobs like this. They are combined into the groups. The next is two little buttons. They control the connection of speakers. You can hook up two pair of speakers, main and remote. Below that you can see the phone's input. You can control the volume in the headphones using volume knob. It's a big massive knob made of aluminum. But let's continue from the very left. This receiver has advanced tone controls. As you can see, it has bass control, treble control, and very rare feature, mid-range control. Not many devices have mid-range control, so this is quite unique feature of this device. Between those knobs you can see two knobs that control the work of power display. You can see that power display is already made of LEDs, 12 LEDs per channel, so 2 channels here. And let's add some volume. So when it works, you can see quite fancy pattern, and every LED has a special color, so you can tell what kind of signal being reproduced currently on this device. And this little knob, if you press on this knob, the power display will be turned off, but default position is on. And another knob is a little multiplier used on very high levels or on very low levels, depending on circumstances. Next group is so-called boost controls. Those knobs, they work in very special way. Their neutral position is just in the middle. If you turn them to the top position, that means that you're turning on the boost. You are boosting low frequencies or high frequencies. If those knobs are used, the sound becomes quite colored and very juicy, I can tell. If you put them to the lower position, then you will activate low frequencies or high frequencies filters, which is quite useful when you're listening to the phonosaurs. Next is the balance knob, traditional balance knob. If you need to adjust balance between speakers, this becomes handy. Next group, here we have a loudness control, very useful feature on lower volumes. Very nice, very soft sound on lower volumes, nicer bass, silkier highs, very great sound. Stereo, mono mode. I don't think this switch is necessary nowadays, but it is included already. FM muting. This is quite handy when you use FM radio stations. Let's try it. I will turn FM, turn off the tape. Let's add some volume. Okay, I have to turn the speakers first. Okay, we have speakers.
Studio, but also taking the studio
okay.
work and his charity work and putting it together.
If I turn FM muting to the off position, you can hear some noise while you tune to the station. If I put it up to the on, then it mutes the noise and you can tune to the station without the noise. Okay, let's continue. The next group is for recording devices that can be attached to this device. We can attach two recording devices and they will work in playback and recording modes. With this one we can record from one device to another or in opposite direction, and this is a tape monitor, so we can hear the sound from tape 1 or tape 2. The next knob is a selector switch, very important knob. This knob is so important that it has its own indicators. Look here. There is a group of 4 LEDs called program, and it displays the LED lights when the matching source is selected. Currently we're listening to FM radio, so FM auto LED lights up, and as I go through the different sources, look what will happen over there. As I change the source, LEDs, different LEDs lights up. Very useful feature because it is quite hard to tell what kind of source is playing back currently, but when you have lit up LED, it is much easier. And finally, two big knobs. One is volume control. Volume control has a scale. This scale has sticks, and you know, the volume control works in accordance with those ticks here. It's a multi-step volume control, you can tell by the movement. I'm not a big fan of multi-step controls. I prefer silky, smooth movement, but this is what Technics uses in this device. And finally, big, huge metal tuning knob. It's also very heavy, oily feeling, turns very smoothly. Very nice design. And by the way, take a look at the thickness of the metal, the aluminum front panel. It's width, I would say about 4 millimeters. So it's a very luxury front panel. Let's take a look inside. To do that, we have to remove the top cover. Top cover removes very easily. There are 2 screws here and there that should be unscrewed. I've done this already, so all we have to do is just remove the cover, top cover. Let's take a look inside. As you can see here, we have quite big and powerful transformator, also huge big capacitors. A noticeable advantage of this model compared to lower models is that this receiver uses transistors. You can see that there are 4 transistors per 1 pair of speaker output, and those transistors, they are mounted using thermopaste on quite huge, big, massive radiators. The rest of the components are quite traditional for this time. This is made in Japan. You can learn a lot about the device if you look at the rear panel. This receiver is not an exception. Let's take a closer look at its rear panel. You can see there are many interesting things logically organized into serial groups. Let's start from the left. The most left group is the bunch of terminals for different kinds of antennas. You can attach different antennas for FM reception as well as for AM waves. Also, there is a ground terminal as well, which is very handy when you're listening to the vinyl players, vinyl record players. Next group is the terminals for the sources. Here is on our phono stage input, auxiliary input, quite handy if you have a digital source like CD player or a cell phone if you want. Then we have 2 groups for the recording devices. Here you can connect wires for recording and playback for each tape devices. Very handy feature, so you can record from one device to another and from any sources, from any source that you've connected at the rear panel here. 2 quite interesting terminals. This is 4-channel MPX out. The manual says that this is a terminal for future technology connection. This future technology never happened. This is AM stereo out. As far as I know, we never had AM stereo, so those 2 terminals are just useless, but just a fun fact. This huge pipe, it's a very powerful AM antenna. You can position it the way you want. it provides very good and steady reception. Another very cool feature, this receiver has a pre-out and main in, so you can use it as preamplifier or as power amplifier. Very handy, very smart solution to have fuses, not the inside of the cabinet but rather outside, so you have an easy access to those fuses. I think this is a very smart feature. And here you can see 4 pairs of speaker terminals. You can connect 2 pairs of speakers, very handy, and those terminals are very nice. They use thread. The connection is very firm, so you can use premium wires and the contact will be excellent. Finally, we have a power cord and 2 AC outlets, also very handy. This receiver has quite advanced rear panel. You can connect a lot of devices. You can connect 2 pair of speakers. Very cool, very nice. Let's crank some volume. First of all, this is a very powerful receiver. It has pure 100 watts of sound power. It has all the bass in the world. It has a lot of bass. Also, I would say that the bass is very fast, and overall sound of this receiver is very punchy and clear and very suitable for heavier, louder music like rock music, hard rock music, metal music. As a conclusion, let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of this great piece of vintage hi-fi audio. Let's start with disadvantages first. The biggest problem of the entire SA series from Technics, it's the quality of the parts and knobs. The contacts there wear out quite easily and they require service every 3-5 years. To do that you need some deoxide spray, but you have to access parts and switches, and this is not an easy job. You have to disassemble almost the half of the receiver to do that. Well, second, I've already mentioned that the volume control knob is multi-step, and to me it is a disadvantage, but that's personal preference. I prefer smooth, silky volume control. And finally, even though the design is just awesome, it's a luxury device, but I do believe it is overloaded with the controls. It is very busy, but hey, enthusiasts can play with this device for hours and not get bored. Talking about the advantages, don't forget that this is a very powerful device, pure 100 watts of the power. Also, it has very rich tone controls, including mid-range tone control, which is very rare. Also, it has phono stage input, which is I would say essential nowadays. And it has auxiliary input, which becomes quite handy if you have some digital sources like CD player or iPod or any media player. Also, this receiver features very nice FM stereo tuner with very powerful and steady FM stereo reception. Okay, let's tune to the FM stereo. It locks to FM stereo quite easily. Okay, not that easily. Yeah, finally we have FM stereo. And because this receiver has such a huge power, it is not very picky in regards of speakers. You can hook up any speakers and it will produce very nice crisp crystal sound with deep and punchy bass. So this is it for the Technics SA700. Subscribe to my channel, like or dislike my video, ask questions, let's talk. Stay tuned and we'll see you again. Thank you very much for your time.